Hey guys, we're working on a 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. This applies to the 2002 through 2009. Also, I believe it's called a Buick Bravada, and GMC Envoy. Now, the spare tire issue. When I bought this truck, the spare tire was in the back and the cable was broken. Somebody obviously had an issue with this one. They cut the cable to get the spare. Most common issue is this latch here, and I do want to explain a few things. First of all, you should be able to move this in and out by hand. You can see how easy I move it. Okay, so this part here gets latched, and that's what gets caught inside of here. You can actually, if you're pay attention to what you're doing, loosen up the cable some. You can get in with a flathead screwdriver, and you can actually put the screwdriver down right up through the side of this here and just give it a good hit, and it'll actually push that in. Or you can push it at an angle with a screwdriver and try to get it to push in, and these will release. You need to be aware that this cable is supposed to slide in and out of here like this, and that there is a thing on the end here. That thing should be able to move freely, and you'll see that it actually slides in and out. See that? So this one slides in and out, and it also can rotate by hand. So you should be able to move that side to side like that. See how I'm rotating it? And you should be able to move it in and out. If you can't, you should clean that with a razor blade and some lubricant. But this is how it's supposed to move. Now the other thing is, you guys will start to lower these down, and the cable will just loosen like this. Actually, it will never unlatch if the cable is loose like this. And the reason is, this is designed that if the cable were to break, this is supposed to release. So this is acting as if the cable is released. So actually, as long as you have pressure on this, when there's pressure on this, this piece pushes in right here. When this pushes in here with pressure, it'll actually hold this mechanism in like that when there's pressure. So the tire needs to be actually on it, falling down to the ground, so there's pressure on the cable to hold this in. Okay, so when the tire is between here and here, and the tire is falling to the ground, the cable has pressure down here. That pressure forces this to hold in like that. So it's almost impossible to duplicate right now, but if you put it on a vise and you try to push against that some, you would see that this will hold itself in. So basically this cable has to have pressure. So that's why the weight of the tire actually is what holds this in when you start to lower it down. So you want to lower it down slowly so that it allows this to stay in. If you roll it down too quickly and it gets stuck like that, try rolling it back up. Anyway, that's the proper way. I'm getting ready to put this one back in, and I just thought I would share that with you guys. So here's a perfect example of a latch that's working. I pulled on the wheel and the latch is in all the way. If I loosen by pushing the wheel towards the car, you'll see the latch popped out just now. So you guys see that? There's the latch. It's popped out. Now if I take the tire, which is on the ground right now, and I just pull on it, you'll see the latch just went in. That's because that's the weight of the tire. That's what makes the latch work properly. So that's how you'll know if the latch is working or not. So another question that I haven't seen a lot of answers to is, which direction does the spare tire go in? Now you'd think that the valve stem would point down. That way you could check the air pressure in the tire to make sure that you've got a full spare. But actually that's not true. If you do it face down so that you can get to the valve stem, and then you look up in here, excuse me, sorry, if you look in there, it's not latched, so the safety latch will not work with it in this direction. So for those of you guys that don't want to use that latch, I guess you could put the tire in the wrong direction, because there's a latch and it's not even close to connecting right there. So this wheel is upside down, so you do not want the wheel with the valve stem down. You actually want the valve stem up so that it'll go all the way up to the wheel. So I'm going to have to turn this one around. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. Now again, you want the valve stem facing up towards the truck, and that's so that you can drop this in. So what you got to do is push the wheel under some, then go ahead and drop this in, and then it'll be ready to lift. So now this is through and this is ready to go. And I like to keep some tension on the wheel when I'm pushing in, so that the cable has tension. So you allow the crank to pull the tire under the vehicle. That keeps tension on the cord and doesn't allow it to bind when you're putting it back in, because if these bind, that can also mess you up. So you want to make sure you keep some tautness in that cable when you're towing it back. So as you can see, I'm doing this and I'm allowing the tautness to keep some tension on it. Once it gets even, I'll double check to make sure that the bracket's in nice and straight. That should allow it to go up. We're just about under. Okay, we are just bobbling. You can see the tire moving side to side. Then I just want to double check that that's sitting in the grooves, which it looks really nice. Looks really nice. It's ready to go. So as you can see, the latch is not sticking out on the right side there. That's because there's weight on the wheel, so it's not going to stick out. If I were to drop the wheel down right now, that latch would pop out. So that is the proper way for it to work. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys out. Have a great day.